Do billionaires really have it all? Or is there more to their lives than meets the eye? Let's take a moment to imagine the world of a billionaire. It's a realm that's often painted in broad strokes of opulence and grandeur. It's a world where, to many, money seems to flow like an endless river, granting its possessors access to the most luxurious lifestyles. Picture extravagant vacations to the most exotic corners of the world, private jets and mega yachts, sprawling estates and penthouses with breathtaking views. The finest fashion drapes their bodies, and the most sumptuous cuisine graces their tables. Their life, as it seems, is an endless pursuit of pleasure, a constant dance in the ballroom of abundance. It's a world that sparkles with glamour, where every desire seems to be just a heartbeat away. But is this the complete picture, or is there a hidden reality that we are unaware of? The life of a billionaire is not just about luxury and opulence. It's a life that many of us aspire for. But is it as perfect as it seems? Indeed, the lifestyle of a billionaire is steeped in extravagance. Their days are often filled with opulent experiences that many of us can only dream of. From waking up in sprawling mansions with breathtaking views to jets setting across the globe in private planes, the wealth that surrounds them is truly vast. Their wardrobes are filled with the finest garments, tailored to perfection by the world's most coveted designers. Meals are not just sustenance, but a symphony of flavors crafted by personal chefs, each dish a testament to the culinary arts. Their vacations are not confined to holiday resorts, but private islands where the horizon is their only neighbor. However, along with this affluence comes an immense pressure, a pressure to maintain the image of success, to preserve the empire they've built, to continue expanding their wealth. Every decision, every investment, every business move is scrutinized, not just by their peers, but by the world at large. There is a relentless demand for perfection, a ceaseless chase for more that can often overshadow the joy of the present moment. Imagine for a moment walking in their shoes. The world sees the shimmering surface of their existence, the glamorous parties, the luxurious yachts, the glittering jewels. But what they don't see is the weight of the crown, the isolation that can come with such extraordinary success. They don't see the long, sleepless nights, the worry that accompanies risk, the loneliness that can emerge from being in a league of their own. For billionaires, their wealth is not just a symbol of success, but also a towering wall that can separate them from the rest of the world. They exist in a realm that is both admired and envied, a realm that is as isolating as it is luxurious. Beneath the glittering facade, there's a different story that is often overlooked. Being at the top, billionaires often find themselves alone. The higher you climb, the fewer people you find by your side. It's a paradox, really. Amid the glittering array of opulence, one might not expect to find loneliness, but it's there, lurking in the shadows of grandeur, a silent spectre that haunts the halls of power and privilege. The loneliness that accompanies extreme wealth is a complex beast. It's not simply about being alone. It's about the difficulty of finding genuine connections when you're perched on the highest rungs of society's ladder. Imagine, if you will, trying to discern who is drawn to you for your personality, your shared interests, your humor, and who is merely captivated by the allure of your wealth. The challenge of establishing authentic relationships is compounded by the fact that billionaires operate within a different social class. Their experiences and realities are vastly different from those of the average person. The concerns that keep most of us awake at night, paying the bills, securing a decent job, providing for our loved ones, are foreign to them. And yet, they are not immune to the universal human need for companionship, for someone to share in their triumphs and their trials. Billionaires, like everyone else, crave emotional intimacy. They long for someone to understand them, to see beyond the dollar signs and appreciate them for who they truly are. But in the rarefied air of extreme wealth, such connections are hard to come by. The result is an isolating existence, a life lived in splendid isolation, where the echo of lonely footsteps is often the only sound. And so we find that the summit, with all its breathtaking vistas and dizzying heights, can be a lonely place. It's a stark reminder that money, for all its ability to provide comfort and security, cannot buy genuine relationships. It cannot purchase the warmth of a loving companion, the laughter of a true friend, the comforting hush of a shared silence. In the end, the summit is a lonely place to be. In a world where everyone wants something from them, how do billionaires find authenticity? This question presents an intriguing conundrum, a struggle that many may not associate with individuals of such immense wealth. Billionaires, like all of us, crave genuine connections, authentic relationships, and real human interaction. Yet, their extraordinary wealth often becomes an unexpected wall, a barrier that separates them from the rest of the world. Imagine a life where every smile is potentially a mask, every friendly gesture possibly a ploy, and every heartfelt conversation a calculated move. When your bank account has more digits than a phone number, the world changes. It's like looking at everything through a gold-tinted lens. The authenticity of human connections becomes harder to discern. Can you trust that the laughter shared over dinner wasn't just for the sake of a bigger tip? Or that the friendship formed on the golf course wasn't a strategy for a business deal? This is the struggle for authenticity that billionaires grapple with. The wealth they have accumulated, while affording them luxuries beyond imagination, also alienates them. It creates a chasm between them and the simple, unfiltered relationships that enrich our lives. This struggle is not about the lack of people around them. On the contrary, they are often surrounded by a crowd. But this crowd can feel like an ocean, vast and impersonal. It's not about being physically alone, but about feeling emotionally isolated. The struggle for authenticity, then, is a struggle against loneliness. It's a battle against the isolation that comes with their wealth. A fight for genuine connections in a world that constantly sees them through the prism of their bank accounts. In this context, their opulence, far from being a blessing, often feels like a curse. A curse that leads them on a ceaseless quest for authenticity, for genuine human connections that remain elusive. In a sea of people, they often find themselves adrift and alone. So, what's the reality of being a billionaire? Is it all glitz and glamour, or is there more to it? To summarize, the life of a billionaire is not as perfect as it appears from the outside. Yes, they do have access to luxuries that most people can only dream of. Extravagant homes, lavish vacations, sleek yachts, couture clothing, and a seemingly endless supply of cash. But beyond this facade of opulence, there's a hidden reality. Wealth, while providing material comforts, often leads to isolation. The struggle for authenticity becomes a daily battle. Genuine relationships become scarce, as it's hard to tell who is there for you and who is there for your money. The summit of wealth can be a lonely place indeed. In the end, the life of a billionaire is not just about wealth. It's a life of contradictions, where opulence often comes with a price: loneliness.